Hello, everybody. Wow, it's been a bit of a whirlwind this afternoon, honestly. I don't know where the day's gone to. Can you all hear us? Please wave. Yay! Okay, so I wanted to do a couple of things. I wanted to just check that I haven't shown you how to paint these peace lilies before, have I? Have I? No, no, no. Even Jennifer would know because she's done lots of classes. Right, everybody, I want to show you how to do these peace lilies because what the next stage of where we're at. So for everybody who's just joining for the very first time, thank you, hello, good evening. It's such a pleasure to have your company. What I wanted to do is I'm going to do a bit on brush loading again because we've still got a few people that are finding it difficult. So I want to just go over the brush loading. I'm just going to move my tote bag because Andrew's asking me. But before I do, I'm going to take out this amber paint and one of these rollers because I want to just show you a couple of little things. So I'm feeling like you guys are getting ready to move on to the next level now. I think a lot of people are painting really, really well. So I'd like to share with you some more stuff that we can do and get us up to the next phase. And then one of the things that I'm going to do is, so you know we've got festival coming up. And in that, we are doing a painting class. I'm going to show you a couple of sneaky tricks in that are little shortcuts. But what I also want to do is when I get back, I'm going away for a few weeks. When I get back, I want to paint and do a piece of furniture. And it'll probably take us a couple of sessions. So I'm going to be really nice to Andrew and see if we can start it on a live Facebook and then maybe do a little bit of it pre-recorded so that you can see, so I can speed it up a bit and then show you the finishing touches. But I'm feeling like we're getting ready to start doing some bigger projects. Also, the other thing I want to do with everybody is for those of you that want to paint your Christmas cards, I want to share that with you as well because there's nothing nicer than getting something hand painted. And I think this is the perfect time of year. And, you know, there's lots of little tricks that we can do. So I'm just reaching some green paint while I'm talking to you. There's lots of little tricks that we can use to make it, to make them a bit fun and stuff like that. So I think it's a good time to have a go. So first of all, let me talk to you about the colours that I've got. I've got a few new colours here, which I should have shaken that bottle. So a little reminder, if you get this clear liquid coming out the bottle, that's the acrylic, the carrier, and you need to shake it so that you get the pigment mixed back in there properly. So it comes out much thicker. Oh gosh, that was good, wasn't it? I've got a big blob on me. Be careful when you move the lid as well. Take it off gently because otherwise you'll end up with blobs on you. And always get asked, is it good for fabric painting? And absolutely it is. You can get it off if you wipe it instantly, which I just did. So I'm just going to put a bit more paint out. So I've got these colours and then I'm going to talk about what we're doing. Now I'm actually also using a different, oh, look at the state of me, honestly. It's been one of those days today. Do you know, I bought all this racking for our shop for Academy. Oh, no, I got the measurements wrong. I thought it was 3 meters wide. It's not, it's 3 meters high. So I got called into the warehouse a few hours ago by Carl and Martin, who said to me, can you just come and have a look at this new elephant we've got in the warehouse? I was like, elephant? We don't get elephants. That's ridiculous. I expected some fluffy thing. And I got in there and they're looking at this big rack. Anyway, that's a whole other story. But what I wanted to do is I want to show you the brush loading, go back and talk through it again. Then any of you that are painting at the moment who are having problems, if I haven't replied to you, can you please send me a message again? Because I've pretty much, apart from two that I've got to do, that are both written messages, not pictures, I'm up to date. So it means that I've missed it. So please send it again if you can. Okay, so I'm going to talk about brush loading. Now, this particular stroke is really important that when you load your brush, you get that fine chisel edge. So just for the purpose of anybody who's brand new, let's talk about the anatomy of the brush. So we've got the sides, either side, so this side and this side, the front and the back, the chisel edge at the end there. We want that chisel edge to all come together so it's really nice and sharp. And we don't want the end all fluffy and the bristles separated, because that doesn't work for us. So we need it so that it's nice and sharp, not fluffy like that. We want it sharp like that. And the other thing, we don't want water in this brush. It's really important. I never tire of saying that to you, because it is so important that you don't get water all in it. Otherwise, it just doesn't work and it goes wrong. Right, so I've just got that off there. I'll just wipe my hands, because that liquid would have made this a bit runnier than we need. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to load with 2 colours. And I'm going to show you how to do a wider stem for your leaves, first of all. So I'm going to load with the dark green and the light green. So I've got 2 shades of green. Both of those on my brush. So we've got, this is a good thing to share with you. I've got 2 triangles of colour. I've got more of the dark green. It's running quite over into the other side. And then on the other side, again, more dark green. So I'm just going to load that, stroke it into my brush. And you can see it's only the tip of this that is green, especially on the other side. So at this point, I'm now just going to pick the light green up. I've not picked any dark green up at all. I'm going to go back over this, and I'm going to do that twice until I've lightened the corner of this brush. And you can see now, look at how much more even it is. Now I'm just going to tip the edge of the bristles into the white, just like that. So you can see I've got a little line of white across it. And I'm just going to paint with this and show you what it looks like when you paint with it, because it's really quite interesting, the effect that we're going to get. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, if I just move my, where do I need to go? If I go this way, till Andrew can see me. So here we go. So I'm just going to paint with it there, white. Look what happens as it pulls out and it starts to go green. Look at how you can get that rainbow effect. So I'm just going to share that with you. Which one is it? Which camera is it? There it is. Look. So look at that. Look at how I've gone from white to those greens. It's really clever, isn't it? And that, you can see I've used up most of the paint on that brush. Okay, now I'm just going to load it again the same way, because what I want to start doing is looking at the flowers in your garden and then potentially maybe even painting some of them from pictures. So I'm just going to put this down, and you're going to see a little bit of white in the middle of that stroke. So you can see how I can plan to play with my colour, and I can actually place it in different places. So I've got just that little hint of white there. Right, now when I come to do those these green stalks, which I said to you I want to do some wider ones. So if I start off like this down here, and I'm going to start off sideways so you can see me better. I start off here and I slide the brush, and I keep sliding it so that I've got a stalk. I'm just going to slide that back, pick up some more paint. So I'm sliding it, and then I'm lifting it slightly on the chisel edge, but I'm not coming right up on the chisel edge because I want it as a stalk. So there, there. So you can see how I've got that nice and wide. Now, if I want it the other way round, so let's pick up a little bit of the white as well. Just lighten that green a little bit. If I wanted it the other way, so I've got the light green on the outside and I'm sliding it. Look at what I'm doing with the brush. So see the angle of that brush. I'm just going to pause it for a moment. I'm going to slide and just pause so you can see it. And you can see that that is giving me a really lovely stem. So I look like I've got the dark on the outside, the light on the inside, and I've got this really nice stem. Now, when you're working with your calla lilies, you can work in a couple of different ways. We can pull the stems down, or we can go up with the stem like I've just done now, and we can put this little almost like a little curve there, which actually meets the top of the flower. So let's look at the actual lily heads themselves, and we'll do a little mini composition. So I'm going to wipe off the paint from my brush. I hope you saw that little bit of brush loading, quite useful. And I'm going to put white on one side of my brush and amber on the other. I'm just going to push that into the bristles of the brush. I'm just going to double check that the white I'm using isn't pure white. Oh, sorry, it is pure white. It's a different shade of white to the other whites that we've worked with. Whoops, I've just mixed my brush up. So let me put that. If anybody's got any questions, then please put them in the chat. Can I also just say I'm very, very close to being able to, with it, well, I say very close in my world, and even weeks are close by, but just being able to come out with an announcement for you to talk about setting up our training program where you guys can be the trainers. That's one of the things I want to talk to you about. Right. So remember this stroke that we do for leaves, yeah? You remember that one, don't you? Right, imagine that now I'm going to paint that one going upwards. Or you might want to turn your paper. Let's turn our paper. We'll start off with it turned like that. And we're going to turn it round. And I'm just going to slide it up like that. Okay? Turn that back up. Now, the next one that we're going to do, we're going to come back down from here, and I'm just going to push and slide round like that. Okay. Then we've got a bit more to do, so we're going to freshen up our paint, and we're going to come here. I'm going to come from this edge, and I'm just going to slide round like that. So I've started to get the shape in the design, and then I'm coming back on it, and I'm just going to run it back like that. So we've got this middle part of it coming in, and then you tip the very, very tip of your brush in the white, and you come back and you touch it like this. Little tiny little touches down. So you've got the center of the flower. So you can do that with the white. I can pick a little bit of the amber. I think I need to go and get my ears tested because it sounds like I'm shouting. Then a little bit of the amber. Again, tiny little bit more on my brush. Little tiny dots to do that middle part of the flower. The next part of it is the green. So we'd come into the 2 shades of green that we've got. And we're going to start here. And I'm just going to pull up using my little finger to hold. So I'm just going to make sure I've got more paint on my brush. Come up to there. And then I'm going to do a little turn like that. Then we're picking up some more of the white and the green, the green, 2 shades of green and the white, soften the colour, a little tiny bit of amber just to bring those tones in. And then this one, dark green on the outside, you're going to wiggle like this. And then on this side, we're going to bring in the stem and we're going to wiggle as I slide like that. So the leaf looks like it's turning. Okay, so that's the first one. Now I'm going to do a few of these lilies because it will make a little bit of difference. You can see how they come together. So, and it's a good one to practice because they all, so we're going to go, oops, like that. I'm going to go with the stem out like that. Then this one, I'm going to come here, out and round like that. So it's another one. And I'm going to bring a little bit of a round there. And I've got to confess, I forgot to put that one in this one. So I'm going to put it in. And then I'm going to have to come back to that green. Did look at it thinking I'd got something missing. I'm going to put another one up here. So up there. Let's go round here, round with another one. We need to put those little dots in that we need. Just coming in the middle, down the middle. Get that little bit of up there. So we got that. I'm just going to put that little bit of a lily in. Now I'm going to go a bit fatter, so I'm going to do one of them a bit wider. So I'm going to go really fat, so pressing right down on my brush, up on the chisel edge. And then let's go here again and come round like that for that one. We'll get a little bit more paint. We'll put those little dots in up there and tiny little bits of yellow. So they're there. And this one, again, needs a bud there. Now we'll put some stems in. We'll see, we'll tie this all together. So we're going to tie it all together by coming round. And then I'm just going to go round a little bit. And round a little bit. And then you can either come round and then you can follow the whole thing down. The stems are quite straight on these. So just put that in that little bit. Or, so again, I can come straight down like that and come round and here, or you can do what I did there and do a slightly longer one, slightly thicker, and pull this together. So let's do that. Let's do this. So across there, pull it together, keeping it on the chisel edge as I pull up to there, and then just that little bit there. So I've got my little bunch of flowers. And then finally, I'm just going to put another one of those little leaves there. Just get that last little bit and redo. And then on this one, just here, just a little wiggle and a slide and come round. And that one will come onto there. So you can see there's our little bunch of lilies, and they look super fab. And what really finishes this off is if we put some of our baby's breath in. So we'll come out, 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 out. So off each little stem, I'm pulling a straight line. Now, also, you can pull them out here and you can pull some out like this. So you can start to get more depth to it by pulling out extra little stems like that. I'm going to put one, I'm going to go one up here. I'm going to let that come up and go there. So I pull these little bits of stem up here like this. Thank you everybody for joining. I really do appreciate it. I love painting so much. I just really want to teach you guys as much as I possibly can and share with you. So you can see that I've got that bit of detail in there. Now, we all remember how we make our scruffy brush, I hope. So remember, it's a round brush that gets given a haircut, and you want it really sort of as scruffy on the end as you can. You take half the white and half the green. So I've got my brush, you've got two colours on there, and literally let's push them back into each other. I'm just going to get a bit more colour into this. And I'm now going to just tap in this baby's breath. And when I'm tapping this in, I'm making sure that I'm not repeating the shape. I've got little bits of extra colour, just breaking up the obvious part of it just being solid in there. Just going to pick up these two other colours and let's just go a bit more paint in. And then again, I've got a little bit more here. I'm coming over this bit. I'm going to go into the white and the green and the white at the top. So that's exactly what we don't want to happen. I've got a line of 3 dots there. So I'm going to make this one into a bigger one. And I'm going to make these two just fade away downwards because otherwise it just looks too regimented. It looks exactly like it is, a brush just splatting its paint. So just try and get that so that you've got it a little bit more even and you'll end up with this really pretty picture. And I think the thing that really makes a difference here is having that white and that amber colour together and just bringing the whole thing together, as you can see that I've done. I am going to put a bow on this, but I'm going to put some a string bow rather than a ribbon one. Let's do a little string one. So I'm going to come into my water and I'm going to work with the orange that I've got. So this was a different colour, and the white. And I'm going to make this into a very inky puddle. So it's all going to be very runny, one colour. So making it nice and inky. You can see how it's rolling off the brush there. I'm just going to test it. So it's a little bit too thin. I'm just going to make it a bit thicker. So rolling my brush in it to get it nice and thin. Okay, so now what we're going to do, little finger on the page, that's really important. And I'm just going to take it and do these little strokes. So, and then each time I do it, I do another one. And you can see how I'm laying them down and making it look like they're just little string lines. Okay. Now, the next part of it, you can put in the tails if you want to, flick off on the edge. But what really makes this and makes it finish off is take some white and the orange, and you need a smaller brush for this. So I've got number 12 flat for this bit. Got a random stray leaf there, hair there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just putting that little bit in the middle there. And it just pulls the whole thing together and just finishes it off. But doesn't that look more delicate with that little string bow? Now, if I did that without the inky puddle, let me show you what that looks like. So I've got a number 8 here. So I'm going to pull half of the white and half of the orange in. And I'm just going to do this on a spare piece of card. So once you get confident, you can do this. So literally on the edge of the brush, pull round and go. But what happens is it's much easier to get it lumpy and blobby, which you can see there. Whereas when the paint is diluted slightly, you'll get it smoother. So I've got it smooth here, but it's blobby there. And you tend to get this build-up of paint to the edges. So you've got to be very careful, and then you end up not putting enough pressure down. So dilute it, you'll get a much better response. It's one of the few occasions that I would say to you to use some water. And doesn't that look fabulous? It's such a pretty way of being able to design a project. I'm just going to do a couple of those for you, and I'm going to put some pink in it because we do get some like a fuchsia pink. And when I've got this out, I'm going to show you a new rose as well. So I've got my fuchsia pink, and let's go here. So I'll just clean off this and get my brush a bit cleaner. We'll just get some of that fuchsia and then some white. So fuchsia and white. Tiny little bit of the amber. Just pulling that in to the edge of the brush. Wow, beautiful colours. So we're going to start round here, and I'm just going to start round and I'm going to pull and come up on the chisel edge. Okay, it's the first one. Then I'm going to come down like that, there. And now I'm just going to come here and pull it round. So I've got that lovely shape. I'm going to pull my bottom of my little thing, and you can see how you can get the middle of it looking really good by having that bit of colour that you've got. And then I'm just going to touch in these little bits as if it's the centre stamen. So that shows you how you can get that colour into the design. And let's put a little bit of this green in, so we'll see how this comes together. So we'll bring the stem up from here to there. Just going over it once more to get some depth to it. We'll go tiny little bit of green, and then just this, and then just turn that round and turn it off. And then here we're going to go, so my brush is on the flat, I'm going to wiggle to there, turn and slide in. Let me get some more paint and just do that once more for you. So I'll do it here. So you're going to wiggle, and this brush stroke is actually in the guide that we did, where I did the step-by-step, the beginners, how to get started. That wiggles in there. Let me do that for you again. So this time we're going to go wiggle, wiggle. It can be as uneven as you want it, but let the tail of it just come round. And then here again, this time. So this time the green is to the inside because we want the leaf to look like it's turning. So we're just going to go like that, wiggle there, and then slide it so that it comes round like that. So the stem would come through here, there, and come out there. Yay? Look good, don't they? Great fun. Right, let's do that new rose, and then that probably will be it for tonight. But here we go. So we're going to do this lovely new rose. Now, what this is about is a lot more petals. So I want you to think about where the petal's going, think about how we're going to build up the colour, and I'm going to do two side by side. So we'll do the first one the way that we all know how to do it, the regular way. Okay, so up here, wiggle, 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 making sure we don't run out of paint. If we do, we're going to go back and get some more. Going to put our leaves on our petals random round the outside edge. Put another one here. Let's do a bit more of that fun wiggly stuff just here, and then a bit more just there, and then we'll go we'll put another one in here just to fill in the gap a bit, and then we go with our little bud up and over, round and under, maybe even another one if you want. Put a little bit more white on there. So we'll put another little one there, and then we go round and pull and round and pull. Okay, so that's the first one. So now we're going to work with 4 colours on our brush. Let me move that out of the way. So you're going to start off by putting your fuchsia and your white and double load it. So backwards and forwards and get that colour right the way through. So white, fuchsia, there. So you've got your brush, it's nice and clean, 2 colours on either side. Next thing that we're going to do is we're going to pull some of the orange onto where the fuchsia is, and some of that, that lovely amber onto where the white is. And it's going to give the white a tint, And the amber is just going to make this colour different. So when I put this down, you'll see now, look at the difference between that and that. You can see the difference. Okay, so that's the first petal. Let's go. Let's get some more paint on here. Get this one going. So we need orange and amber. Nice on there. Lovely. Really nice. And I'm going to put another one here. Now I'm also just going to start to make some just single petals. So there's a single petal. Here's a single petal. No, I've ended up with a couple. That's fine. Put a couple here. I'm going to put a couple here. Look at how I'm thinking about how it's overlaying. I'm going to put another one just here. And pick this paint up once more. So we're good for that. Let's pick it up. I'm not picking up the amber or the orange this time because I want some contrast. So I've got some there and some there. Okay, so we've got lots of things going on. Right, we're now going to put another layer on, and what's important is understanding what colour's right on the edge of that brush, because when I lay this down, I need to make sure that I've got a contrast between there and the one that's underneath it. And I'm also thinking about where they're going. So I'm laying them down, and I'm actually making sure that when I do them, they're not all in the same place. So I'm putting them in different places. And I'm also going to leave the odd gap as well. So it makes it look more natural. Now we're going to go back to our brush loading. We're picking up the fuchsia and the white. And I'm going to pick up a tiny bit of amber. Tiniest little bit. And a decent amount of the orange. Okay. And then this time we're going to go again. And now I'm doing some really delicate leaves and petals, and I'm thinking about the shape of them. And I'm actually thinking about making them come more in to become a little scallop. So this time I'm going to go in and up and round and make a little scallop. I'm going to do the same again here. Up and round for a little scallop. We're going to go again. Here we go. Another little scallop. And we're now ready to put the back of the bud in. So to do the back of the bud, I need to be sure I've got plenty of orange on that brush. So I want to change that centre colour. So here I'm going to go up and just round like that. You can see I've got much more orange in there. I'm going to come out here and just put a petal, and I'm going to come up here and put a petal. Notice I haven't put any down this side. Now I need to make sure I've got some white on the tip. It's important. Just checking that white loading. So I'm looking at my brush. I've not done a huge number of strokes here. Now when I put this bud in, I'm going to do a slightly different shape. We've been used to doing this, okay? I'm going to work that shape. I'm going to work a slight V, so it's going to be wider at the top than it is at the bottom. Okay, so we're going to go wider at the top than we are at the bottom. So we start to pivot. I'm going to come in the same under, like that, so it's more of a trumpet shape. Then I'm going to come out here and come more of a trumpet shape, wider. So you can see I've got lots of depth to it. I'm now right on the edge of the brush, and I'm coming round there. And once more, I'm right on the edge of the brush, and I'm coming in there as well. Then I'm just going to check it. I think I want one more petal just there. I'm just going to share that with you so that you can see both of these flowers. And let me just hold that up so you get a really good view of it. And look at the difference at the depth of the rose that I've got. Just extra colours more layers, and more detail. So I'm now just going to share with you a new rosebud that you may have seen this on some of the teaching guides, but then again, you may not. So if you haven't, this is what we're going to do. So so first of all, I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to press down and I'm going to turn and slide. Okay, this is almost an extension of that, that lily that we're doing. And then here, you push here and you turn and you slide. So very much like, a bit like the lily. Then you get your green here and you just literally tease it up the edge of the bud. So you just tease that round the edge of the bud. And then here we want a little shape like that. And then that little bud is ready for us to bring in the stem, like that. And on new leaf, you come out and out and out. Okay, so 3 ways out. Then you get a smaller brush, oops, without the dodgy hair. Got there. Just going to see if I can turn Andrew up a bit to make sure he's there. Oh, let me see what I've done. He is here. That's a yes then. Oh, don't worry about it. He'll hear me. Right. So I think I've done something to my talk back, but you guys can hear me. That's all that matters. So I'm just going to make sure that then we go like that, there, and like that. And then here, just like that, and slide, like that, and slide, like that, and slide, like that, and slide. And there you go. There are our little leaves. So that gives you an idea of all the elements together so you can see them. Let me just remind you of the details of in the studio, our painting. So we've got there the details where you can find it online, and you can actually find all of it just where you need it. And I don't know what I've done. Oh, I can hear it again. It runs out on August the 7th, everybody, so 2 weeks today. But isn't that just the most beautiful little bud? And don't those roses look lovely? Put those in with your lilies, and I think you're just going to love the results. Don't forget to try out the new bow. Message me, anybody who is stuck and doesn't know how to do it. And one last plug for Academy. I know I'm going on about it every time you hear me, but it's such a huge passion of ours, and it's been everything we've been waiting to do. So if you can come and join us, please do, because I know you'll have a whale of a time. And of course, the best thing is don't miss out on getting painting, because painting is just what it's all about. Thank you for your time. Thank you, everybody. Oh, the lovely Mel Heaton's just started a show over on Create and Craft, and it's Digital Craftorium and the Sweetie Trolley. Oh my goodness me, is there some calories in that? Take a look at it, and I'll see you all soon. Lots of love. God bless.
If you want to see more from Highlight Crafts, make sure you click the like button. Subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below, and click the bell icon to receive notifications of all of our future content. You can also click here to see our latest video, or click here to see more videos like this one.